Hey, welcome to Sprout House. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Carly.
Every new day is a fresh opportunity. Investigate the world not alone but in community.
To the llama, llama, to the llama, llama.
Science may seem complicated, but all it takes is a few simple ingredients to blow your mind. The more you know.
So my name is Carly. Carly. What are your names? We are gonna stretch our bodies into shapes or poses. Let's practice yoga. I love it, I love it, I love it.
Thank you so much. I thought it might be too much, but who doesn't love a velvet hat?
Everyone loves it, everyone.
I love that.
Okay, and everybody at home should do it too. Okay, are you ready? Everyone at once. 1, 2, 3.
Let me see your shoulders. Let me see your side to side. Let me see you round and around. I take your hands all around and then other way. Camera people too, other way. And go down low, and go down high, and spin around and be like, okay. Yes. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
This is what I want to see happening while we are crafting because this is the end.
So what episode did you learn the most from? And which episode did you go in thinking, I actually know a lot about this topic?
Ooh, that's a great question. Oh, you know how to form questions, the good ones. Okay, so the episode I learned the most from was definitely the scuba diving episode because I walked in knowing nothing about scuba diving. I'd never done it before. And so, like, the fact that I made it through alive was like shocking to me. And then I just know a lot of information about scuba diving. But it's also just that personal feeling of like, oh, I can do things that I'm afraid of, which isn't totally like a message of the show Weird But True, but was like a really special bonus of that episode that I think a message of that episode is you can do things you're afraid of. And then the episode that I walked in knowing a little bit before we started, I thought I knew some things about cooking, and then during the cooking episode, I was like, cool, I don't know anything. I'm trying to now think, you know what, I knew a lot about dinosaurs because the work that I did on preschool television before this show, we did so much stuff about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So that's a topic that I felt like I was like, okay, yeah, I can talk dino.
So,
okay.
if you weren't an actress, what would be your dream job? I'm assuming that actress is your dream job, right?
Definitely the thing I'm doing now is my dream job. Being able to make stuff for kids and families is something that I sort of started doing accidentally in my basement when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because I would like recreate the TV shows that I watched on television in my basement with my siblings. But if I maybe would be teaching. I really, really love teaching because I like being with, and not even just kids, I like teaching adults too. So maybe being a teacher, or before I decided to study theater, I was sort of like thinking that I would pursue medicine. So I thought that I would maybe work in like criminal psychology or pathology, which is the person that does the autopsies. Yeah, so that is a very different life that I would have had. But those were the things I was interested in high school, and I was like,
what is your daily routine when you're getting ready to film for a day and just when you're not?
Yeah. So, okay, when I'm getting ready to work on camera, I'm like very rigid with my day. I usually get up super early and I love making my morning coffee. I have like a very particular way that I make my coffee, so I always do my coffee. And then I like to exercise before I go to set because it just gets my like blood pumping and gets me in a really good mood. So that's part of the reason why I have to wake up so early. So I get up so early, have my coffee, exercise. And then a lot of times I have to do my hair, which takes a long time. So I do that. I like wash my hair and then I have to do all the stuff to it so it looks nice.
Yeah.
And then for Weird But True and for the Big Fun Crafty show, I got to drive myself to set and I would always listen to the same playlist of music. So the best was making Weird But True and driving over, I can't remember which bridge, the Ben Franklin Bridge? Whatever bridge we had to go to drive from Philly to New Jersey, the sun would be rising and I would just be like jamming so hard to my tunes, like blasting my music. And people will be like in other cars, like, how does she have this much energy in the morning? She's like, I've been up for 3 hours. But so that's always good. And then, you know, get to set and say hi to everybody, hang out, probably make a cup of tea, and then, you know, work all day, and then come home at the end of the day, usually have some dinner, and then probably listen to a podcast and do something super mellow, and then go to bed so early. I love it. Like, I go to bed at like 9 o'clock if I'm working, because I can be up so early. So
On Fridays, I remember you wake up, watch the episode, first thing when it airs. I remember you said that.
that's true. Yeah, that was the best. While the show was airing, I absolutely woke up super early and watched the show first thing with my coffee. But yeah, when I'm not filming, I still like to wake up really early. But I just have a more kind of relaxed day and have like different types of things that I'm doing throughout the day. So like every day ends up being really different. But actually, even since the last time we talked, I make sure that I go on a really long walk every day now. So I walk to the park or something. That's
good.
Something nice to do with extra time. Yeah.
That's fun. It's good to have a mellow day every now and then.
Yeah, super important.
Actually, me and my dad have already looked into going scuba diving and getting certified. So we're gonna go ahead and get certified in March.
Oh, that's awesome to hear.
So we went about maybe a week ago to the shop, get all the information, and we could technically do it now, but we would have to go out of town to get to go scuba diving in a lake. So we're gonna wait until March so we can go just about only an hour instead of like
Nice.
3-4 hours.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Is there any advice that you have for me and my dad or anybody watching?
Oh yeah. Well, I already feel like you are a super brave person who is, and I know you play a lot of sports, you're super athletic and like strong. So I feel like you're already at an advantage. But, you know, I would say just remember that like we don't naturally breathe underwater. So it feels really weird at first. And just like stick with it, even though it feels weird. And even if you feel like I felt so silly the first couple times I was trying to do it because I was like, I am so bad at this. This is like, so like, I just felt like a, I don't know what, just like a goofball underwater. I was just like I'm never going to be good at this.
Yeah.
But stick with it. Stick with it would be my advice.
Do you actually go scuba diving now? Like, do you go out of town every now and then to go scuba diving?
Well, it's such a bummer because the show, I got certified officially in January of 2020, and then we wrapped at the end of March, and then I had some work in New York at the beginning of March, and in my head I was like, well, maybe like in the summer I'll go somewhere and try to scuba dive, and just like with everything that happened with the pandemic, it kind of went off the table. And so now I'm starting to think that I might try to get back to Hawaii at the end of this year because that's where we filmed, and the diving instructor that we worked with is now a friend of mine. So I'm like, okay, I could go back to the same place and dive with Alex since he already I feel comfortable with him. And I have some friends on the island. So sometime this year, I hope I get to go back to Hawaii. But if I can't make it all the way to Hawaii, maybe just Jersey.
That would be fun. I hope once I get certified, I hope I can go to Hawaii as well.
Oh, I hope you do too. You gotta go. You gotta go. It's so beautiful.
At night with manta rays. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Can you now confirm a season 4 of Weird But True now that it's New Year's?
I wish that I could, but no. We haven't heard anything, so it's not a no, but it's also not a yes. So I don't know. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed, but either way, I know that Charlie and I will both have things happening soon in the world if it's not Weird But True. But hopefully we'll be able to make more Weird But True.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We're just waiting. We're like, okay, we're not sure if there's a season 4 yet. So every Saturday we're like, okay, let's check.
Oh.
Check.
I will let you know. If I find out. You'll be on my list of people to alert right away.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. I mean, like, we're going to be literally staring at the computer until you say yes or no.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that you all enjoyed the show so much. That really makes me so happy. I told all of the people that we worked with, like some of the producers and the DP, after our last conversation, I was like, hey, people like the show.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't understand how people can't like the show. I think it's an awesome show. And
you never know when you're making something because there's no audience. Like we're just going every day and we think it's great, but you really never know.
yeah. And there's people who have very different opinions from others, so that makes sense.
Totally, sure.
So how did it feel in 2019 when you were nominated for the Daytime Emmys for the Outstanding Live Action Preschool category for Fun, Crafty, and Snug's House? And I also see that you've helped a couple individuals win a couple of Grammys.
That's a great question. Okay, so, oh my goodness, to the fact that in 2019, Snug's House and the Big Fun Crafty Show were nominated in the same category, that blew my mind. I was like, what is the
I could
world?
see that.
It was those two shows and then Sesame Street and then I think 2 other shows. So also as soon as I was like, oh, we're nominated with Sesame Street, well, we're not going to win, but it was still fun to be nominated for both shows in the same category. That just felt so special. So I had worked on Sunny Side Up and Snug's House had been nominated before, but this felt so special because there was 2 shows at once. So I wanted to do something really special around the Emmys. So I teamed up with a friend of mine who is a sewist on Instagram. Well, not on Instagram, but she's part of that community on Instagram. But she sews things and makes amazing clothes. And so she and I teamed up and had this contest where on Instagram we asked kids and families to submit art and tag us in the pictures. And then we picked one of the pieces of art and she turned it into a dress. So the dress that I wore to the Emmys, the Emmys in 2019 was designed, the print was designed by a 10-year-old girl. And that was a really cool thing to be able to talk about at the Emmys. It's so funny. I just have the dress in my house. It's cool to be like, oh yeah, I'll wear that to the Emmys. And then the Grammys, so Tim Kubart, who was one of the other hosts of Sunny Side Up, dear friend of mine, when he was making that album, he and I wrote one of the songs together, and then I ended up guesting. I wrote a rap verse for another one of the tracks, and then the album won a Grammy. So I have this cool certificate that says that I was a vocalist and a songwriter on a Grammy award-winning album, which is so fun. And then he made another album the next year that I also wrote a rap for, and that got nominated. It didn't win, but it still got nominated. And then this year, in 2021, I guested on a friend's album called All the Ladies, and it was made by Joni Leeds, also in the children's album category, and she got nominated too. So it's kind of random because I don't consider myself a musician first. I'm like a performer and a host and a writer, and then I'm a musician. So it just worked out really, I had a lot of good fortune to be around some really talented musicians and be a part of some really incredible albums. Watching them make Home, which is Tim Kubart's album that won the Grammy, was amazing. It was in his apartment in Brooklyn, all their different friends would come through and play instruments, and it wasn't like a fancy thing. It was like a really independent, they put a lot of hard work into that album, and then it won a Grammy. It was crazy.
Yeah. Do you happen to play any instrument?
Yeah, I play the ukulele and the guitar, and I sing, and I play a little bit of piano, but it's not very good. But ukulele and guitar, yeah.
It's crazy. I was actually 15 minutes ago playing cello right here.
That's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I just got a bass guitar actually that I'm hoping to learn how to play. But I just noticed back there, well, there's Chica from Sunny Side Up, but then that is a mandolin, and I have had it for 4 years. No, oh my God, I've had it for 7 years, and I can barely play it. So we'll see how I do with this bass guitar, but I like having instruments around.
I see you have been a host/co-host in multiple shows. Have you ever thought about starring in a movie?
Oh, yeah. I guess I don't. If the right person that I knew was making a movie and there was a good part for me in it, I would totally do it. But I definitely do more hosting now than I do acting. So I think if there was a really specific part that I was a really good fit for, I would definitely be open to it. But being an actor, whether you're on television or whether you're in the movies or whether you do voiceover, it takes a lot of work and a lot of it just takes a lot of work. So right now it's like so much work just trying to work in television, and that if I were to try to like go after being in the movies, it would mean like having to go after a whole different number of like auditions and different kinds of trainings and different types of networking. And so I'm okay with TV for right now, but I certainly am not opposed to it. Somebody wants me to be in a movie, I'll do the movie.
Yeah. An episode of Weird But True that you would like to see coming. I would personally like to see an episode on sewers, maybe on autism, or even skydiving.
I am obsessed with all three of those. And I said this before and I'm going to say it again. The fact that you want an episode on sewers blows my mind, because Charlie desperately wants to do an episode on sewers, and I'm obsessed with the idea too. And so I just feel like if we get to make another season, I'm gonna like send them a video of you talking about about how much you want to see a sewers episode, and I'll be like, see, we gotta give the people what they want. See,
what they want.
Yeah. And then skydiving, we talked about. We have like a dream list of like episodes that we would maybe love to see happen in the future. And there's an idea, like I would love to do an episode on fear, where we explore
that would be very good.
What it feels like to be afraid and what happens in your mind when you're afraid. And I feel like where we would go with that would be skydiving. Like that'd be the like field trip in that episode would be. I bet we'd go see a doctor and they'd like be like, this is what happens to your brain when you're afraid. And then they'd be like, cool, now you're gonna go jump out of a plane. And we'd be like, I would also love to see an episode on dance, because I think it'd be really fun for Charlie and I to like explore different types of dance, and then for us to dance. Like I just want to see Charlie ballet dancing, because he's so tall, and it would just, I think he would do great at it, and then it would be a lot of fun. So dance, I would love to see a dance episode.
Maybe another one that you could do is culture. So like, we were just learning about that today in school, where there's so many different types of cultures, and dance is part of that. So like, we were learning about some European dances, some Jamaican dances, and that actually made me think of all these. I was like, that would be a good episode.
Yeah, and you also mentioned autism, which would also be an awesome episode, because I think it'd be such a great way to just like share more about autism with more people and get to like talk to some kids, and that could also be a really good episode. So you have good ideas.
Thank you. I think, are you actually scared of going skydiving, or are you that something you want to do?
No, I'm scared of that. I'm definitely scared of that. So like a part of me is scared in the kind of way that I'm like, but I still want to do it.
That is exactly how it is for me with scuba diving and
okay.
I want to do it. I want to do it so bad, but it's like, why do I want to do it?
If somebody said like 2 years ago, like, what do you think sounds scarier, scuba diving or skydiving? I would be like, oh, definitely skydiving. But there were elements of scuba diving that frightened me more than I thought they would. And then now I'm like, oh, scuba diving, easy. Like that's nothing. Like, what's the worst that can happen? But then skydiving, But I have so many friends that have been skydiving and they've loved it that I trust them, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll try it.
I think also there's so many like not 100% true stories about both of those. Like even sharks, like for example, sharks are gonna eat you. Oh, like there's only like 12 bites a year from a shark. And like
that's a really, really good point. Like, you have to be careful where you're getting your information from. I mean, in general in the world, which then makes me want to do an episode on news and like
that would be a good one.
Like what? I mean, that would be so interesting, because if you start like all the way with like back with like the printing press, and then like the history of news would be so interesting, and then being able, I mean, I feel like that episode ends with Charlie and I doing like news anchoring somewhere, like as like an adventure. Oh, that would be a cool episode.
That would be.
Yeah.
What episode do you think is coming in season 4 if you were Leo season 4?
What episodes would be coming? I mean, I think any of the ones that we talked about could be potentials. So like, sewers, like a fear one. Would love to see dance. I think there was like, I feel like there were 1 or 2 other ideas that were floating around for season 3 that we didn't end up, like we wanted to do a marine animals like marine mammals episode, and then like the scheduling didn't work out, and so we ended up doing a camping episode instead. But that's the other thing about television is like you walk in with a bunch of ideas, and then depending on what happens, sometimes you have to like pivot in the middle of the season. So yeah, I think any of the ones we talked about, or yeah, we have so many lists. Oh, the other thing that some of our team really wants to go to Greenland and check out, or no, Iceland, and do like the hot springs and like see the Northern Lights and some stuff like that. So
I've told multiple of my friends that Iceland is where I want to go. I think it'll be very pretty. Got the hot springs. Actually, I was talking to my dad. That is somewhere I would want to go scuba diving because there's supposedly the clearest river in the world there. It's like you can just see through it even when you're above it. And the Northern Lights, like you were saying, I think it's an awesome place to go.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do it. We gotta go, you know?
We should go together. We can be diving buddies with Charlie and you and me.
Well, yeah, we'll do a big diving trip. I didn't know that about the river, though. That's a good fact, and I'm glad to know that.
It's a weird but true fact, so.
Hey!
You wouldn't pick up on that one, guys. Come on. You're the weird but true people.
Oh, it looks like we have like a third co-host to the show. Training over here.
So what has been your funniest blooper while filming and while not filming?
Oh, that's a great one.
What has just been your flat out weirdest? I mean, did I say while not filming? I don't know how you can have a blooper while not filming.
Well, I mean, I think I can actually answer that. So, okay, the funniest blooper while filming, I mean, Charlie and I get the giggles and like have a hard time doing things often.
Before you answer this, I think is it the one where you eat the bugs and then you have to go throw it away?
Yes. Okay. Well, that was one thing I was going to tell, which maybe, okay. So yes, we did when we had to eat the bugs in the cooking episode, and we had to do this whole thing in one take, and the two of us would just like smile and then run off camera and spit out the bugs, and everybody was like, oh my God. Like everybody was screaming and flipping out. So that was just like an insane day. And then there was another time, it was before we were doing the solar systems episode. So we were in that Mars habitat in Hawaii, and it was the end of a really long day, and it was like super cold in there, and we had just been like out in the lava fields. And so we were doing something where we had to like run through a door and then like say some words, and we were like behind the door waiting for them to call action. And one of us, I actually don't remember who, it could have been me, it could have been Charlie. One of us farted, and then they were like, action, and we both run in and we're just like, Brah! Like we just thought we couldn't get through the take. We thought it was so funny. All we were thinking about was the fact that one of us had just farted. So, I mean, that's the thing. You work with somebody day in, day out. We're all like a family. So we're just, you know, having such silly times together. So, yeah, that was going to be, those are things that happen like on set. And then I guess like offset bloopers would just be like the insanity of traveling all together. Oh, I guess I could tell you this. At the end of the season, our DP dyed his hair blue because he lost a little bit of a game with our director, and it was like whoever loses has to dye their hair blue, and so he dyed his hair blue.
Wow.
Very funny. Yeah.
That is very
That's the last day of shooting.
He just comes to work, blue hair.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet you had a lot of bloopers that day.
Yes. And I should say, just for anybody watching that doesn't know, the DP that's short for Director of Photography. So he sets up all the shots and does all the lighting and makes everything look good. So anytime you're seeing like, you know, beautiful shots, it's because our DP Gabe has a great eye.
What is one thing that most people just don't know about you?
Well, I mean, I guess some people know that my family has a mushroom farm, so that is a kind of like weird and specific fact.
Weird but true fact.
Weird but true. My family has a mushroom farm. I'm the oldest of 7 kids, and I'm allergic to peanuts.
You're allergic to peanuts. That's one that I did not know.
Hey! It's true.
I mean, they're weird but true, yeah.
Weird but true. Don't bring those peanuts anywhere near me.
I'll shove them through the camera, you know. So, some of the hobbies slash interests that you have.
Oh, so that's a great question. I love the work that I do. So I feel like in some respects, it's like that is my hobby, but it's also my work.
Yeah.
But when I'm not working, I love to like move around. So I really like yoga. I really like boxing. I really like, yeah.
I did not know that one.
Oh yeah. Okay. There's a fact not a lot of people know about me. Yeah. I trained at a boxing gym for a couple of years pretty consistently, and then, less so now. But I love boxing so much. I think it's so fun. So definitely that. And then something that is a new hobby that came up for me in the pandemic, I did a little bit of work with the Lego Foundation last year. And they're a nonprofit that's affiliated with Lego. They advocate for creativity and play. And when I was working for them, I got to go to Denmark. It was actually right before the pandemic. I went to Denmark and I worked on an event with them, and then I got to go to the Lego store in Denmark. And so I got like a big Lego set, and as a kid, I never played with Lego before. I just I don't know why, we did other things. But wait, let me see if I can show you. This is what I did during the winter. Did I show you this last time?
No, I did not believe so.
Oh, so I made this tree house.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
That is very good.
So thank you. And it turns out I just love working on the Lego sets. It's like a puzzle or something. Like I turn on a movie, it's just like a nice activity. So.
Okay, then now that you're showing off your Legos, I'm gonna.
Oh, come on. Let me see. What do you got?
Okay, so it's so many pieces that my dad's giving it.
Okay.
It's like 3,000 pieces, I think. You do not want to break this.
3,000 pieces. Oh my gosh, what is it? I'm thinking of a few things that it could be now that I know things about Lego sets, which I didn't know before. Oh, wow. Whoa, how long did that take you?
A week where we just consistently did it every day.
Yeah, that is stunning. Oh my God, that's amazing.
And these lions come out, but we don't want to do that.
No. Oh my gosh, thank you for showing me. That's incredible. And they're just so fun to build. And then you get to look at it forever.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very talented. Good job, everybody. Good job, family.
Yeah, so that took a week. My dad got it for me for Christmas, and we just built it. And before that, we built a Wally. He was 1,000 pieces, I think, 1,500. And then we did one more. Can't remember. We did a huge PlayStation. So those PlayStations that you see on TV, Lego PlayStation. It was 10 times bigger.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that one was crazy. So those are the Legos that we've done. Now that you brought up Legos, I think I've always grown up with Legos. I think I used to always play with Legos. I kind of stopped a little bit as I got older, but I still built some every now and then. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some really. What?
Do you know what Voltron is?
I know what it is in that I can identify it, but I couldn't tell you a lot about it.
Okay. So I believe it's an older show, and it's just these 5 lions. They come together with people inside, and they make this big Voltron, kind of like a Power Ranger in a way, but
yeah, but it's a super composite. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's so cool.
So it's if Power Rangers and anime had a baby, that's Voltron. Amazing.
So fun. I'm looking at it on the shelf right now. I have the Lego Diner, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. It's a couple of floors, but I started in the summer, and then I was like, I gotta save this for the winter when I want to be inside and need an activity. Yeah. So I paused it, and I'm looking at it you're next. I need to finish that.
You're next on my list.
Yeah. Watch out.
Me.
Yeah.
So, before you knew about Weird But True, did you ever read the books?
You know what? I didn't, but I was aware of them. I was aware of the like the brand. I knew what it was, but no, I hadn't read the books before. But I did last year for Christmas. My mom got me the Weird But True like game. So it's
There's a game?
There's a game that has all these facts, and you have to like decide if they're true or false, and it's fun. So like sometimes occasionally I'll do like a school visit, and then if the kids have time for like question and answer, I'll pull up those cards and be like, all right, is this true or false? And it's like super, super fun.
Pop quiz, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that is all I have planned for today. Do you happen to have any questions for me?
Oh man, do I have any questions for you? I probably asked you before what your favorite episode was, but what was your favorite episode?
I can't remember. Probably the scuba diving.
Yeah. So good.
It was very relatable, that's why.
Yes, you were like coming up on it. If I can do it, you can do it, believe me.
I hope so.
Okay, wait, and then I have another question. It would be, what are you most looking forward to in 2021?
That's a very good question. You said I come up with the good questions. I'm not sure. This is a very good question. I would probably have to say just for the pandemic to be over and just get to see everybody again, and hopefully that everybody gets well if you have the coronavirus, because then now the vaccines are coming out. Hopefully they can get to you, and hopefully you can get better.
Yep, good answer.
How about you?
Same stuff. Ready for the pandemic to be over. Yeah. It's hard because it's hard to even know what's happening this year because we're just waiting for the pandemic to be over.
Exactly. Well, anyways, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this with me again. And,
no worries.
I wish you great luck for any and all future projects, and I hope I'll see you again soon.